What's up, everybody? Justin Brooks here. I just wanted to do a quick video. To be honest, this is video number 2, so my first video erased. It just goes to show you the reality of business. But anyway, I wanted to real briefly talk about cash flow businesses. I mean, what I really want to talk about is I want to dispel some of the myths behind wealth creation. There's a huge phenomena right now behind real estate, and I'm a huge fan of real estate. I'm a huge proponent for real estate, but I think there's a lot of misconceptions about real estate as a vehicle to create wealth initially. And what I mean by that is, if we look at some of the biggest names in our personal development industry around real estate, you will find that initially a lot of them did not get their wealth from real estate. What do I mean? I'm not saying that they didn't grow their wealth with real estate. I'm saying that they did not create their initial wealth with real estate. The majority of them created their wealth with entrepreneurship and sales. I'm going to use a few case studies because I want to have a conversation about this in a very practical manner, because a lot of times what we do is we almost immortalize these guys, and then we don't take into, when we try to do what they do, because I'm guilty of this, that we try to do what they do, and then we go down this big rabbit hole, only to find out that that's not the rabbit hole they went down in the beginning. And so, and like I said, I'm guilty of this too. We have to now get out of this rabbit hole and come back to where they started. Now, the great thing is, every experience brings about some kind of learning. So if you can learn from your experience, then you can grow. That's all it takes. And you can accelerate yourself a lot faster the second time, third time, fourth time, whatever the case may be. But let's use some real life case studies and people that you may know. And, let's just have a conversation about this, and let's really think about how their wealth was created. And I'm not in nobody's pockets. Let's not get that twisted, but let's really talk about how their wealth was created so that we can learn and model what they do. And I'm going to add one because I just thought of somebody, but let's start off with Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki, he created Rich Dad Poor Dad. He created Cashflow Quadrant. He created a whole host of other things, and he always talks about real estate. But if we really take into consideration how he made his wealth in the beginning, yes, he was a real estate investor, but he made a large majority of his wealth through his Rich Dad company, which is an educational company. That's his passion. That's one of his passions. Real estate, education. He teaches people financial intelligence. And he went through this cash flow quadrant, the E and the S and the B and the I, and he made his money in his education-based business. He talks about how he wanted to create almost like a franchise model, and he put that together, and he used that income and became an investor, moving from the big business quadrant to the I quadrant, and he created more wealth. He grew his wealth. Let's take a guy like Ken McElroy. That's another guy. He's one of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad advisors. Ken McElroy used property management and as his. Now he worked with other people, but one of his major propellants into what we now know the real estate field was his property management. It was a high cash flowing based business. His business created the income which allowed him in large part by large to be able to invest in real estate. Another example would be R. Donahue Peebles. Now, R. Donahue Peebles was now all of these guys, it's something else that we need to be really aware of, be cognizant of. All of these guys were in sales in the beginning. That has to be something that's not something that can be overlooked. It's not a detail that can be just overlooked. If all of these guys were in sales, that says a lot. That's a huge clue as to what it is that you and I need to do in order to become better. But anyway, let's go back to R. Donahue Peebles. R. Donahue Peebles, I read his biography, and I did other research. You know, read his bio and his company website, and you know, just about everything I could find on him, because he's a real estate entrepreneur, and he's a black real estate entrepreneur. And so when I did my research, he was an appraiser at first. He was heavy on sales. He had to sell himself to whoever it was he was getting his real estate based business or real estate appraisal business from. And then after he grew his real estate based business, you read his bio, and I'm not going to steal his thunder from his bio. You read his bio, but he talks about how he got involved in some of the taxing authorities in the city, and then he learned about taxes, and then he created a business that helped other business owners challenge whatever they were being taxed at. If they felt they were taxed unfairly with their property taxes or what have you, they would then be able to go to his company. He knew the ins and outs of it. He would help reduce their taxes, and whatever he would reduce their taxes by, he would take a portion thereof. He made, you know, a significant sum of money. I think, if I remember the figure right, it was something like $300,000 or $400,000 a year he was making clearing in his business initially, and it grew and grew and grew and grew, and which helped propel his development business, which also grew and grew and grew, and now he's worth something like $700 million. But let's really take a look at this and really see. So right now we're seeing that, by and large, entrepreneurship was the thing that created the wealth that allowed these guys to invest in things that grew their wealth, propelled their wealth. So when we start to talk about real estate alone being the propellant, now real estate as a business, like a flipping business, that's different. That's not real estate investing per se. Buying and selling real estate, buying low, selling high, flipping houses is not just investing. Investing is holding something for the long term to produce cash flow or some kind of, the word eludes me, and I shouldn't be doing this on the video, but it's more of a business. That I'll just leave it at that. But the point is, wealth is grown through real estate, not just created by real estate. Flipping houses is a business, and if you run it as such, it will create a large sum of money to allow you to invest in real estate. And then we got to look at this. So not only did entrepreneurship make these guys wealthy, sales made them wealthy. So, and I'm not talking about like the used car salesman kind of sales. These guys were in businesses that allowed them to make huge sums of money in sales. Now, I'm not talking used carsmen can't make a lot of money. Don't get it twisted. They can. But you have to understand how to make that a big business. That's the difference. These guys understood how to make their small business a big business. And if you take Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow quadrant and you really look at that, if you're in the S quadrant, that means you can't walk away without losing your income. If you're a salesman, you have to figure out a way for you to be able to walk away and not lose your income. I mean, maybe you're a salesman in insurance. This is a great example. Maybe you're a salesman in insurance or real estate, and you build a team. And now, if you take a vacation, your team is still selling, and you're still getting a small portion of whatever it is that they sell. You've just created a bigger business. Franchising. You create a business and you franchise it out. Regardless of whether you're in there or not, your business is making money as long as you create the right pieces in the systems. A big business owner is a person who owns systems. That's the difference. That's the difference. And so I want to have a really good conversation, but not only that, I'm gonna do a video, and I've been watching a lot of videos, and oh, the other person I was gonna say is Tony Robbins. That guy did exactly the same thing, except everybody knows he built his money, he built his business as a salesman and personal development guru. And then he used his money to invest in businesses and real estate and. But that's not the point. It's not about how he made his, it's not about what he did to get the money. It's about the fact that he did entrepreneurship. He did sales in the beginning to create a large sum of money so that he can go out and grow as well. Okay, so I got that out the way. But let's have a conversation. We need to have a real life, hard, fact-driven, how-to conversation about how to create high incomes. We need to have ideas and inspiration, but we need to have realistic conversations, because I hear a lot of videos talk about why you need it, why you need it, why you need it, and then, oh, by the way, go to my course and learn how to make it. And then the course is like, okay, yeah, but there's like 10,000 other parts to building a business, and just saying, you know, create the business, go buy LLC, and boom, you're off to the races. Yeah, come on now. I can go buy LLC for $500 right now. Heck, you can go buy LLC off of you know, one of these internet-based sites for like $150. I mean, you can go to an attorney and get it for $500. I mean, that's not the gist of a business. A lot of people get caught up on the LLC. That's nothing. It's really easy to do. We need to have a conversation about how to actually create money. Not theoretical. Let's look at what these dudes are really doing. We can talk about what it is that they're doing and then model what it is that they've done. Anybody can do what they've done. Gary, I don't believe in a lot of people when it comes to how-tos or even talking about it, because a lot of people will say some stuff and it's not realistic. Gary V, is one of the few people that if you follow this guy's model, you can do whatever you want to do, because he is just in your face with it. If you can have the persistence, because this guy's persistent, if you can have the persistence and stick-to-itiveness that Gary Vaynerchuk has, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. Now, what does that mean? Gary V did, I think he's on like 494 episodes of the Daily V show. 494 episodes. That dude has done an episode every single day for over a year. 365 days in a year. He's on episode 494. He's almost done it for a year and a half straight. I don't know too many people that can do a video every day for a year and a half straight. And not only that, let's not get it wrong, because we're gonna say, I know what I can say if I was me 5 years ago. Oh, but he has all the money and he can pay somebody to do. Listen, man, you can do what I'm doing right now. Get in front of your video camera, you know, talking to your video camera with in whatever environment you're in, talking about what it is you know every single day for the next 365 days, posting it on your social media site and becoming the resident expert amongst your peers. When everybody, trust me when I say, I took this serious about a year and a half ago, and now I have more people asking me about real estate related questions than I ever have in the past. Why? Because I actually told people what I know. It's amazing when you start to tell people what it is you know, how many people will come to you. That's a different story, but it's something that it's really bothering me right now, and I'm sick of hearing about why you need to make more money without realistic action steps. I'm tired of hearing people say, let's just go make more money. If it was easy to just go make more money, everybody would make more money. It's not just like that. You gotta have a skill. You gotta have some kind of economical exchange that is worth the value of somebody giving you their hard-earned money in exchange for what you're gonna give them. And then they gotta believe you. Believability is huge. Credibility is huge. Authority is huge. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I hope if this video added some value to you, I look forward to having more conversations. I look forward to doing more videos. And I hope I won't go as long as I did on this one. Have a good night. Look forward to seeing you.